Hi, me again. If you're watching this video and you haven't seen the others, I would recommend that you sort of watch them in order to get up to speed with what's been going on. The last video I did was about my ultrasound and I was still waiting for the report. I got the report and I was kind of quite pleased with it, but not at the same time. So it says that it's affecting my daily life and that there's long-standing cost of margin pain and excruciating discomfort and things. So I'm really glad that somebody in the medical world has sort of validated how I feel. It said that there was intermittent slipping of the 10th rib, but I kind of felt that the report didn't do justice to how bad I'm feeling. So I sent the report to my surgeon, who I hadn't been referred to yet, Joel, and I explained that, when I sit down, like now, for example, if I put this down, you won't be able to see, but if I hook my hands under here now, I can feel that the 10th rib under the 9th and it's stuck there. And when I'm stood up as well, it's the same. But because I was lying down, it was in its natural position, so it was showing the slipping because I was going sort of from lay down to up. But when I'm up, it's always under there. And the costal cartilage is like rubbing on everything, etc. But what threw me was the fact that I think my pain in my back, the back pain, is from the slip rib, because if I follow the costal cartilage either from the spine to the rib tips or from the rib tips to the spine, the area of pain around my spine relates to the costal cartilage. So that's not the costal cartilage, sorry, the intercostal spaces between 9 and 10. But I emailed my surgeon just to say that I didn't feel like that was what was affecting my walking. And what I realised, sorry, it's just some pain, after the ultrasound was that I think, my case is a little bit more complex, because the majority of pain when I'm walking is around the head of my 12th rib. I am getting increased pains around my 9th and 10th ribs, sharp ones like that one I just had since the ultrasound. So I think maybe when I did the Valsalva movement I might have irritated things, but that might calm down a little bit. It's a bit difficult for me to concentrate at the moment because of the pain, so I'm just going to stop this a minute. So I'm kneeling on the floor now because sitting was giving me sharp pains. It's right here where the floating cartilage is. So yeah, I searched in the group to try and find people that had this problem as well. I knew that it was more complex because there's not many people with just SRS that have issues with walking, and that's one of the biggest problems for me. So the majority of the walking pain is at the head of the 12th rib. I'm in a lot of pain at the moment, but I'm going to try and carry on with this. It's right where the tip of the 10th rib is. So yeah, I've got two different issues going on at once. I found one guy in the group who described exactly what I was having, and he was operated on by Dr. Hansen in West Virginia last year, and he seems to have recovered really well. I emailed all this stuff, my symptoms and the fact that my 11th and 12th ribs are involved, to my surgeon, who I hadn't been referred to yet, and he forwarded the email to Dr. Hansen, who is, I call him the rib master, because he is sort of, it was his procedure that is now used to fix slipping rib syndrome, and he is very, very good at what he does. So Dr. Hansen replied, and Joel forwarded the email to me. So to cut a very long story short, it's looking like I'm going to need a resection, so bits of my 12th rib cut off, because that's very hypermobile, and I think it is. I think it's hitting the iliac crest, but also I think it's subluxing under 11. And I've explained all this to my surgeon in an email, and I'm confident that he'll be able to feel it with his hands, because I can feel with my hands what's happening if I get them in there. So I'm not worried about that at all, because I know that he'll be able to feel it. The next thing that I need to mention was the referral. So if you've seen my previous videos, you'll know that I had lots and lots of tests that were inconclusive, and that my doctor told me that they thought it was all in my head, and there was nothing wrong with me, which is quite common with people with slipping rib syndrome. So I emailed the I'm going to go back a bit. So yeah, I emailed Joel. He was really reassuring, and the fact that he's emailed Dr. Hansen before I've even been referred to him, I appreciate it so much, because he's going above and beyond to help people, and that really, really shows. And I think, when you're in this position and you've been dismissed by so many doctors, to find people that really care is amazing. So although the past few days have been difficult for me, and there's been tears and shaking, and as well as increased pain, I'm really confident that I'm in the right hands, and I'm so grateful for that. So the next step was for me to get a referral, and that was really difficult, because my doctor doesn't know anything about this. So I sent my doctor an email with my ultrasound report and the images. I'm going to attach the. I'm going to show you that now. So that was my rib 10 coming up from under rib 9. So I sent that, and I sent lots of stuff about slipping rib syndrome, sort of medical papers that doctors, including Dr. Hansen, had written, and I sent the report from Dr. Abbasi, and I also sent a screenshot of an email from Joel saying that he's happy to have a referral. So my doctor rang me, and they said that they would not be willing to refer me to Joel, and that they would need, because of money, because of it costs more to send people out of area. I live in North Wales, but I'm 100 metres away from the English border, and my doctor's is in England. So yeah, they said it would cost more to send me out of area to Middlesbrough, which is where Joel is based. So I explained that Joel is one of only 2 surgeons in the UK that does the surgery that I need, and that he's spoken to Dr. Hansen and everything. And my doctor said to me that they couldn't refer me to Joel, that they would need to send me to a cardiothoracic surgeon locally, who would have a look, and then if they agree, they might be able to send me to Joel. So I was very upset about this, because it would mean that I'm in limbo again, and it would have an effect on me mentally and everything. So I emailed my doctor again, with some references to the NHS Constitution, which basically says that you have a legal right to be referred to whichever doctor you choose. So I sent that along with some, an explanation asking for an explanation from my doctor as to why they wouldn't refer me, so that I could take it further if necessary. And then within 4 minutes, I had a text message saying that I'm being referred to Joel Dunning at James Cook Hospital in Middlesbrough. So I kind of went into shock, but good shock. And I've read that text so many times because it didn't feel like it was real. This is what I've been fighting for. And it's so difficult for us, having to be in pain and then to have to fight at the same time. So at the moment, I just need to carry on each day, but I have hope now, and I'm on the right track. I'm being referred to somebody who has vast experience of this, and it's looking like I'll need a resection of rib 12 on the right hand side, because that's what's stopping me from walking, and then also suturing the rib 10, which is slipped on both sides. So my situation is a little bit more complex than most people's, but I'm in the right hands, and I know that I will be fixed, and the mental struggle, I think, is over now, and I just have the physical pain to deal with, which will be a little bit easier knowing that help is on the way. So yeah, if anybody's ever watching this and they're in a position where they're finding it difficult to get a referral, you can send me a message. The email address is contact@slippandribsyndrome.org, and I can advise you on sort of what I did and how I went about getting the referral, because it is really difficult for some people. Thank you.